My name is Eleanor Harris. I am 57 years old. My husband passed away 10 years ago. After that, my only son, James, became my whole world. I loved him with all my heart. I always believed that as long as I was alive, he would never leave me. But one day, he left me alone. Not just for a day, but in a way I will never forget. I live in a small, quiet house on a narrow street. Every morning, I wake up early. I make tea and clean the house. Sometimes, I look at old photos of James when he was a little boy. He is smiling in every picture. I still keep his school projects and his favorite toys on a shelf. Sometimes I talk to them and whisper, "I miss you, James. I hope you are happy." Many days I wait for his calls or messages, but the phone stays silent, the quiet feels heavy, and my heart aches. James moved to a big city many years ago, for work. At first, he called often. Then the calls became less frequent, his visits became rare. I sent him small gifts and packages, hoping he would remember home. I wanted him to be happy. But each time the mailbox was empty, my heart hurt. I often wondered, does he still love me like I love him? One day James called me. "Mom," he said, "I am coming to see you this weekend. I cannot wait." I cleaned the house carefully and cooked his favorite meals. I even bought a small gift for him. I believed this visit would be different. I believed he loved me enough to keep his promise. That weekend, I waited at the window, imagining his smile, his hug, and the warmth of his presence. James arrived in the afternoon. When I opened the door, I could not believe my eyes. He smiled, and I hugged him tightly. Tears filled my eyes. "Mom, I missed you so much," he said. For a moment, my heart felt light again. We sat in the living room, drank tea, and talked. I asked about his work, his friends, and his life in the city. Everything seemed normal. I thought we would finally spend real time together. But suddenly, James said, "Mom, I have to leave quickly. Something urgent came up. I will come back soon. I promise." I felt my heart sink, but I trusted him. I watched him leave. He waved and smiled, and then he was gone. I waited. 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour. I called his phone. There was no answer. My heart began to pound. My son, my only son, had abandoned me. I tried to understand. Maybe he was busy. Maybe he would call later. But hours passed, and still there was no word. The next day I learned from a neighbor that James had left for a faraway city. He had taken all his things and did not plan to return. Soon, my house, once full of laughter and memories, felt empty and cold. I could not eat. I could not sleep. I touched his old backpack, his toys, and his school books. I touched his old backpack, his toys, and his school books. The house was full of memories, but it was silent. I cried many nights. My heart felt broken. I had given him all my love, and now he was gone. I felt invisible in my own home. Every corner reminded me of him. The chair he used to sit in, the table where he ate breakfast, the little notes he left as a child. The quiet was loud, and my heart felt heavy. One morning, Mrs. Carter, a kind neighbor, saw me sitting outside. She smiled and invited me in for tea. She listened to my story and offered comfort. She gave me food and spoke to me as if I were family. Slowly, I began to feel better. Her kindness reminded me that even when someone leaves, love can still come from others. Little by little, I started to heal. I spent more time with neighbors and friends. I helped in the community and joined small gatherings. I discovered that life could still be full of love. I smiled again. I planted flowers in my small garden and felt warmth return to my heart. My son may never return, but I realized that happiness is not only found in the people we expect. Sometimes it is found in the ones who choose to stay. I accepted the truth. James abandoned me, but he did not take my love. My love remained in my heart. I could not control him, but I could control how I lived. I chose to give love to others, and that made life beautiful again. My son may have left me, but I found strength, happiness, and a new family among people who truly cared. What would you do if someone you loved walked away? Would you wait, cry, or find new hope? See? Tell me in the comments. My son abandoned me, but I found the love I truly needed. And that is a lesson I will never forget. Thank you for listening to this story. If you liked it, please like the video, share it, and subscribe to Prime English Stories. With every story, our English gets better, and our hearts grow stronger.